Liverpool. The weekend's action kicks off with their game against Chelsea. It's a battle of two sides looking to respond to poor recent displays. Let's hear from Arne Slot and Callum McFarlane.
No, I think it always weighs heavy on the players if you lose more games than you would want, especially at a club like this, because these players are used to winning. So the moment they start to lose, that's never a nice feeling to have, especially not if you play for this club. Underperformance clearly in the Premier League. We didn't pick up the points we should have picked up. Also, if you look performance-wise, and again, I'm not saying that we had a very good season in the Premier League, but we've played better and deserved more points than we were having.
The performances haven't been good enough. We're in a really bad run at the moment. The Leeds performance was a glimmer where we thought we could build on that, and we weren't able to do that. But I do see these boys every day, every training session, every meeting in the gym. They're in a good place to go and attack games. We just haven't been able to translate that on the game on Monday. So hopefully we can improve that on Saturday.
You'll be needing a big improvement. What's going on at Chelsea? 6 losses in a row, just 1 goal scored.
I mean, there's so much to unpack here. I think we could do a whole show on it. But like we were just saying before, it's poor decisions over the years that ultimately catch up to you. Not just the manager. I think the players also have to take accountability, because I've said it many times. I've played for so many coaches and managers. You might not like their style, you might not like their system, but you still try. You know, and there's a situation where, like, I know Rossini was still in charge then, but the Brighton game, when he left a couple of days later, but this one here against Forest, like, they were at home, you know, and the fans, like, I don't know, I just think to myself...
I was at that game and Forest made 8 changes with one eye on the Europa League semi-final, and every time they went forward, it looked like they were slicing through Chelsea with ease.
But there's no system. Like, it just like they're kind of, like, trying to fit, you know, round in square holes, really, at the situation. There's no plan, is there?
No, I think that the business model for Chelsea is that they collect players that they eventually sell, and now they're playing that way.
That's a great finish, by the way. I've got to give a shout-out to that.
He scored 20 goals for them this season, and he's been a real a weapon for them, but the problem is that they can't defend. They've conceded in each of their last 13 matches. They've conceded 3 or more goals in 4 of their last 5 Premier League games. They are one of the easiest teams to play against in the Premier League, and the part of the reason for that is ego. There are too many egos in that dressing room, too many players who believe they're doing Chelsea a favour, that they could be somewhere better. And also, they are lacking experience in 3 key areas: on the pitch, in the dugout, and upstairs. Technical, the knowledge, know-how. When you have a business model that focuses on bringing players in low, relatively...
It's not working, though, Darren, is it? Like, that business model is not working. The recruitment...
I totally agree with you. And on top of all of that, just one last point. I think if you talk about Champions League going down to 6th place, for them to miss out on on that 6th place shows just how far backwards Chelsea are going.
And you know what? It was only not long ago, less than a year ago, they were FIFA Club champions, World Cup champions, against PSG. Like, I know people can say that didn't matter. That I think the competition mattered. It was a really good PSG side. Yes, it was the end of the season, but they've just got... I agree with you. There's a lot of players like Enzo Fernandez, Cucurella, a lot of talking. You know, you've got to let your football do the talking. And I think Cole Palmer, this year, his form... I love Cole Palmer, because I feel like those types of players are, like, gone out of the game now, where they're creative. But it's like, to me, when I'm watching him, body language, he doesn't... I know Cole Palmer kind of is a man of few words, which is also fine, but, like, Cole Palmer at his best is one of the best players in the world. We haven't seen it this year, Jules.
I mean, to have that penalty saved in Forest, we just saw it a little bit earlier on.
Well, what we're seeing in the first couple of examples here are when he's got lots of confidence and it's really coursing through his veins and everything is effortless. But that's gone now. So the simple things are difficult.
The penalty miss for me happens to the best of us. You know, I missed 2 in my career and I remember them like they were yesterday. But that sitter from 2 yards out, when you watch the players live, I think you have a true understanding, like, he just doesn't look right. I don't know if he's still carrying the injury. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for him, but when he's going to be very... It's a situation here where the World Cup's coming up, you know, big selection for Thomas Tuchel to have to make those decisions, and like hasn't had his best season.
I think that he is among the victims of the opposite to what we were talking about with Brentford and with the other clubs that have experience and players to take them through difficult moments. They don't have that experience in goal. They don't have a Thiago Silva at centre half. They don't have a leader in midfield who can help them manage the game, keep feet on the ground,
Fernandes is supposed to be that player, though.
No, he's a good player, but he's not an experienced player.
Yeah.
He's not a player with... And the part of the problem is they tend...
World Cup winner.
No, but see, achievement doesn't necessarily equate to experience. When I talk about experience, I'm talking about a 30-something. I'm talking about somebody with an older head who can basically say, regardless of what you've done at a young age, these are the reasons why you need to keep your feet on the ground and focus rather than lying on your sun lounge and believing that you've done it all.
John Terry, Frank Lampard, Joe Cole.
Exactly that. And they don't have that anymore. They did away with it because they wanted to go in this new commercial direction, and it is absolutely costing them big time.
So Chelsea needing to bounce back from what was a difficult, actually 6 games, I was going to say last week, but for Liverpool, a difficult time last time out, and they also need a reaction. Only a couple more weeks to call them champions. One of the most disappointing title defences in history for you?
It's very, very strange because the way this year has gone for Liverpool, I expected that in Arne Slot's first year. You know, a hangover of Jurgen Klopp, and it's kind of gone back to front, hasn't it? They win the league, doesn't get much bigger than that. He's heralded as this icon based upon doing it for the first time in his first year by the Liverpool fans. But this season, I think the decisions to bring in certain players like Wirtz at the beginning of the season, yes, he's come good at certain parts of the season. Kirkez hasn't been great. You know, Mo Salah, that contract situation. You know, there's been a lot of... But there have been some silver linings. Szoboszlai's been brilliant.
Yeah, he absolutely has been. I just want to mention Salah because he said recently during one of the interviews that they haven't really bonded that well as a team. That's one of the big differences. And how could they? Because so many people have been injured in different periods.
Yeah, they have. They've been very unlucky. I mean, this is probably my slight divergence from Leanne in so much as I look at last summer. We've talked many times on the show about how traumatic last summer was and continues to be. There's a legacy from that. Isak went on strike effectively, and so he didn't have a pre-season. There have been a number of key players that have had bad injuries that have not been available throughout the season. Salah's lost his form and, as such, is going to leave the club. And, of course, Ekitike and Isak have had injuries throughout the season. It's been tough for Liverpool. And I actually think to finish in the Champions League places in the circumstances, to finish third, the third best team in the Premier League in the circumstances, I'm not disappointed with that. I think if you're going to sack a manager, and clearly they're not going to because he's going to go again, but if you're going to vilify a manager off the back of that, then what is the job description? Because everyone thought it would be tough without Klopp.
You know, a lot of Chelsea fans say, like, Thomas Tuchel leaving there was one of the worst decisions Chelsea made. Luis Diaz being able to move from Liverpool, for me, was just... It was like he wanted to leave, off he went. You know, so for me, and Trent, I think has been a big loss to them. As much as Liverpool fans won't want to say that.
Lee, don't you think that even if Diaz had stayed, Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool's problems have been defensive. They've not been... Well,
they're just out of form. Virgil van Dijk is not as poor as he's showing. Neither is Konate. They're not.
Yeah. You did mention someone who has been outstanding, though, and that's Dominic Szoboszlai. He's single-handedly trying to drag Liverpool over the Champions League qualification line, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. No Liverpool player scored as many goals as he has this season. He's been versatile, playing in the attacking
full-back position as well.
Just about
full-back as well. I think as far as he's concerned, his ability from dead balls is outstanding. He's not bad in the air as well. This is sensational.
Unbelievable. I mean, yeah, he has been the silver lining. This is the one as well, the step in here. And the decision, like, we work on this in training all the time when you get an overload, like a 3-4 versus 3. And the decision to slow it down in that moment, take your time. You know, his press has been great. That decision there to most players wouldn't even have the awareness to set it in that situation. But he's one of those players as well that takes risks. There's been a couple of times this year he's been at fault for a couple of goals, right? But that's okay because you want to see players taking risks. Yes, maybe not in front of the back line, but he's been everywhere this year and he has been sensational for them. For me, like, probably their best player this season all day long. I
was talking about goal involvements, by the way, in terms of goals. Players, no one's done better than him. But I do agree with you. I think as far as he's concerned, he is one of the many sort of shafts of light, if you like, that they have after what has been a difficult season. I think Liverpool will be back next year, and I think they'll challenge for the title, and I think that challenge will be very strong.
Clip it up, save it.
Okay.
We've got over 900 members. We view it as a very prestigious award. I like to think that even these guys have played at the absolute highest level. Personal accolades mean something, don't they? And I think there's always respect from the press box. There's always respect from us covering you guys. It's an award which dates back nearly 80 years, and we really think upon it as a great thing, a wonderful thing for both the men and the women's game. Absolutely. And I think it really recognises and is a tribute to the outstanding performers in the season.
OK, well, the guys made their predictions earlier on. It's time for the big reveal. Do you want to give us your top 3 in reverse order?
So, starting with the men's, Erling Haaland